All right, so Captain's Captain goes, how are these figures, TNA, going to be different than the WWE figures besides just being TNA stars themselves? What are you guys going into?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, take a look. You guys, you'll see the protos. You'll see images. Our deco is excellent. Our figures are excellent. It's the same. It all lives in the same universe.
So here's a situation I want to ask. It's not on the forums, but it's just a personal question for me. The different mold for Samoa Joe is incredible. I mean, that's a nice mold. What came about changing from the Rikishi WWE to the Samoa Joe mold?
Well, we have to do investment. We have to invest in this. And I think that's an indicator that we're going to invest and make this uniquely TNA.
Because it's not the same.
No.
Okay, that was good. I mean, I just love the mode of the Samoa Joe. It made the figure look a lot better.
Awesome.
Will the TNA figures be scale with height, such as Matt Morgan versus, let's say, a Chris Sabin? ADJP225 asked.
Well, we've always had challenges with scaling, and I still think that we're going to have challenges with scaling. I mean, that's just the truth. To some extent, we'll always keep our eye towards making sure that the tall guys are tall and the short guys are short. But the reality is we have to go and make sure that we can also achieve some of the other things that we need to achieve. So.
The points of articulation on the DIs, are they going to still be 27, or are we going to try to add more later?
There's always the opportunity that we're going to add more. I think that you will see some crossover with the UFC line. So 27.3. 27.3. 0.3, all right. Yeah.
All right, Figure Collector 100 says, what are the chances of us getting older attires on characters like LAX, for example?
100% chance that we'll make sure that we cover the history of TNA.
Okay. And given the huge amounts of gimmick matches TNA have, will you try to get as many out as possible, or will some of them not make it, like the Elevation X?
I think gimmicks are great for toy sales. So I would say that every opportunity that we could to do gimmick-based stuff would be an opportunity for us to reach out to both kids and adult collectors.
All right, quick question I have besides the forums: now that you can actually
Tim question.
Yeah, Tim question.
Are you Goddess vampire guy?
No.
You're not, are you?
No.
Because under that hat there may be some.
You don't like the hat?
I do like the hat. It makes you look mysterious.
That's good to know. All right, here's a question I have. That this is a personal question. Now that you guys can do Sting, and Sting is in TNA, will we see a history of Sting, sort of, going back to the Surfer Sting till now?
I mean, look, no comment.
Okay. All right. It's a fair enough question, I guess. Let's see. Laylath asks, will there be a four-sided ring from back in the Nashville Asylum days?
Quite possibly. Yeah. Sorry to sort of tiptoe around that one, but let's just say yes.
All right, that's good. I like that.
More definitive.
That's going back to the Nashville days. It's going to the roots of TNA.
Yeah, let's just say yes.
So we're going to say yes.
Yes.
All right. And then Sting Christian RKO asks, will you make the whole roster, or are you just going to focus on the main event guys, such as Main Event Mafia?
I think that we have to focus on the whole roster, but at the same time we have to be mindful of the fact that, some of the C-level guys in TNA may not have enough awareness, whereas top to bottom, the roster at WWE, you may be able to do the entire thing. And I'm just being completely transparent. Right. But the reality is that we're going to make a very broad line. Very broad, and we're going to do an amazingly good job at that. And I'd say that I'd hope to, knock on wood, have the broadest line of wrestling figures at retail. But there's going to be some challenges for sure. And really a lot of it depends on what consumers do. If we put out a guy who's sort of I would say C-level talent, and no one buys that figure, it's going to make it more difficult for us. So a lot of some of it's on us, some of it's on the consumer, and that'll drive our future behavior.
Well, I think TNA is mainly gearing itself to the future of professional wrestling. That's why they have so many of the younger talent that they're actually boosting. So that's what we're going to look at maybe 6, 7, 8 months down the road.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right, and then Horseman Forever says, will there be an X Division series? And also, will you make an Ultimate X scale ring?
Yes. All that is, well, Ultimate X real scale is an interesting concept, and maybe you may not see real scales right off the bat,
Right.
but we'll get into that. And doing a large ring that has Ultimate X is a no-brainer.
Okay. Well, Jeremy, thanks for taking the time to talk to us a little bit about TNA and where we're going to be going in the future. Do you have anything you want to say to the wrestling side collectors that are out there right now in Wrestling Figs?
Yeah, I mean, mostly thank you for supporting us. I was here for 6.5 years on WWE before we made the transition over to TNA and UFC. And you've made a huge impact upon my life. I'm sorry that we weren't able to deliver upon everything that that we set out to do. I think that we did a lot of good things. I think that we, in a sense, this was the golden era of wrestling collectibles, and I was a fan of it all my life. LJN, Hasbro, Jakks, even the old AWA stuff that you can find occasionally. And Not too often. But I think this is part of it now. This is part of the lore. I had a part of that. That's exciting for me as a collector. And now we can put that chapter to bed and have it stand for itself. And towards the end of the license, I know there were some challenges, and I know that there were some frustrations. And all I can say to you is it's a very complex world that we live in, and it's not as simple as black and white, or they're bad, they're good, or one person's this, one organization's that.
You got a fresh start that's going to, it's kicking off great so far.
Oh, yeah, well, not even talking about that yet. Right. I mean, I'm just saying that it was an amazing run, really an incredible run, and I'm very thankful to have been a part of it, and I'm glad that we decided to do classics. That was a good decision, and I
liked them.
I'm glad that we embraced the collectors. We care about the collectors, and consistently, and you can put a face on it, and now you can put more than one face on it. And I'm very excited to go into TNA, and I'm excited to go into UFC, and I think that we'll continue to deliver upon some things that you would expect from a company that's looking out for price value, for quality product, and at the end of the day, the golden age may be extended a few years here.
Well, for the Wrestling Figs fans that are out there on there, tell us, last question for wrapping up to you that I'll give you on TNA, when do we see a ship date for TNA?
TNA will be on shelves the second half of 2010. That's our allotment, and that's when you'll see it.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time. I know you're a busy man. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back here in just a little bit with Jeremy Padawer and the UFC line. Thanks for sticking with us. We'll see you in a few.